do me a favor and let me know if the streaming isn't working. So here we go. We're starting off. We did our little review. Eli, you with me? All right. So, we've already, we want to go into the game layout, and we want to add some text, and we're going to give it that traditional name, text message. So on the game layout, I'm going to double click. I'm going to add a text object. I'm going to add that on, let's see, what layer do we want to put that on? What do we have here for layers? We've got object layer. I'm going to leave that on the object layer, so that's fine for now. So I'm going to add this text. We're going to insert it onto the object layer. It's instead of being text2, I'm just going to change this to txt message. And same thing, we got to make it bigger so that we can actually see it. So the font I'm going to increase here to 36. Right now I can't see it because it's kind of too big, so I'll make this block bigger as well. Z, do you have construct running?
Yeah.
All right, keep going, keep along with me, because the stream will go back to you if you fall behind, but this I want you to work with while we're going. So we've renamed it to text message. Font we're changing. I'm going to do horizontal alignment is going to be in the center. So instead of being on the left, we're going to say center. What else do we have here? Vertical alignment is center, hotspot is center. So we're doing all three of those things to the center. So instead of being on the top, this is also going to be center, and then hotspot is also going to be center.
Can I use the bathroom?
Yeah, sign up. So, we haven't added anything for this. I think we're going to change it to one of two things for right now. It's going to be a you win or a you lose. So for right now, I'm just going to set it to click and hold to charge the cannon. Let's see if I left enough space for that. Oh, that's pretty big. Click and hold to charge the cannon. So that's kind of our instructions, and then after a while, after we start to click, we can make that go away. On our actual game sheet, we're going to go to on start of layout, and we're going to add some actions to that text. So after we do the weights, we're going to set the opacity of that message to 0 to make it go away. So I've got text and text message here. I'm going to go and delete my text because I made one and didn't use it, and I don't want to get confused. So if you have an extra text one, don't be afraid to delete it. So now I'm going to try that again, add text message, and it's going to be set opacity to 0. I'm going to let that happen at the end. So you think my stream is broken? Let's see. So this is going, if I come to creator, never mind. All right. Back to our regularly scheduled Construct 2 creation. All right. So it'll say click and hold to charge the cannon. So if I run this layout now, I should have those instructions there. I'll see it for a brief second because it's going to show the cannon. Click and hold to charge the cannon. It's going to show me the thing I'm aiming for, and then my instructions are gone, which is what I want to happen. Okay? So now I know I have to click and hold to charge. And now that's kind of it right there. Everything's kind of come to a conclusion. We're going to work with a couple of hot spots so that we can take that click and hold to charge the cannon, and on the event that we hit the goal, it's going to pop up on this screen and say you win, or if we miss the goal, it's going to pop up on this screen and say you lose. Okay? So we have that. Now, did everybody make this variable is goal box hit with an initial value of 0? I have it at -1. I'm going to set it back to 0. I don't know if I was testing something out. So everybody made that on Friday, right? This line that I have highlighted on the screen right now, global number is goal box hit equals 0. Do you have that line of code in there?
-1.
Yours is at -1?
Yeah.
Is everybody else's at -1?
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Picard might have you check something there. I thought I was testing something. Not 0, -1. I'll set it to -1 and leave it there. All right. So, then we have an event. Cannonball is overlapping goal. Did we start creating these things to destroy the cannonball, destroy the goal, set is alive to 0? Did we add this action? All right, so we added that one. And what we're going to do is we're going to add an action on here. So we have this one here. Click and drag it to the top of the actions list. So we want to set is alive to 0 at the top. Then back on the start of the layout. So back up on the top on this start of layout. I gotta start checking these off. Ms. Picard printed this really tiny. I make mine big so that I know where they are. All right. So we drag that to the top of the list. On the start of layout, we're going to add an action for the system. And do we have an is playing variable yet? We haven't made an is playing variable. Is alive, we're just using it as is alive. So we're going to add an action here. Set is alive to 1. We already have that one here. Drag it to the top of the actions below. So we set it to -0 at the start. Then we're going to add an action down at the bottom. So there's nothing to do here because we already have this. You already have this is alive is equal to 0. Is goal hitbox to -1 on start of layout. I'm looking for feedback for people. Yes, you have that. On your start of layout, do you have a system set value for is goal box hit to -1? All right, so that's there already. So then we already have that there. We're going to have to add an event down on the bottom. The event we're going to add is system compare two variables. Or compare variables, not two variables. And we're going to compare is goal box hit. And we're going to see if it's equal to 1. Because, Jacob, where are you going? Okay.
To 1 or -1.
You made me nervous because your bag was still on. To 1, not -1, to 1. Okay? We're going to add an action on there. And it's going to be for text message. We're going to set opacity back to 100. And we're going to set the message to set text. And this is going to be you win. And we'll add the smiley face. So that's the you win. Z, do you have Construct 2 up? Are you going along with us, or are you just sitting and watching? Okay, I need you to be going along with us, please. Okay, so then you need to start watching the live streams and do other stuff, Z. Sitting here is just going to have you be further behind. You're going to lose out. I also want to move this. I want the text to be set to you win first before we make it visible again. Then I want to add an action here and set value of is alive to 0. So I'm going to do set value is alive to 0. So now we have this piece here where it will say you win if you hit it. But what's the problem with where it actually is right now? So I'm going to try and play one, and I'm going to try and hit it. Your screen, blue screen again. I'm going to send a request to IT. How often has that been happening? Randomly? I've seen it. Okay, so I'm going to try and hit this. Oh, didn't charge enough. So that's not going to work. The only problem is that on our layout, we've got to manage where this text is. Because right now this text is over here. When the game ends, it needs to be over here. It needs to say you win or you lose. Okay? So we can kind of leave it in the center here at the start, this size and position, 405. And then when we're looking at the game screen over here, maybe 1200 would be a good size, or 1190, 1185, something like that. So we'll work on those numbers as we go through. I think I said 405, and we'll move it there. So we set that message there. Now, what we want to do is we want to come up with a condition when you haven't hit it. So we're going to come here, we're going to copy this whole set of code here, line 9 that I have on mine. It might be something different on yours. I'm going to copy and paste. Okay? So, we add this in, and we're going to change this hitbox value equal to 0. So when the hitbox is equal to, is goal box hit is equal to 0, we're going to change this to you lose. We'll make a frowny face. You lose. Frowny face. Opacity comes full circle again. And we already have the opacity there set to 100. And now let's see what this looks like, because I think we need a little bit of code in here to sort of move it around. So on the start of the layout, I want this text message X position to be set to 405. So I'm going to go up to on start of layout. I'm going to add text, and I should have set X position. And I'm going to set it to 405 for right now. So on start of layout, it's going to know that this text message has to be there. I'm going to have it happen at the beginning so that it's not left on the screen during the wait. So it's set X to 405. And then on the condition that, either we hit or miss the goal box, we need to move it to another number. And I'm just pulling a number here by dragging and seeing when is it on the screen. I'll say 1165 is my number. Do what's a good number for your size, for your object when you're there. So on game sheet, I'm going to add an action here to text message, set X to 1165. So we should see either you win if you hit it, and I will copy and paste that here and drag it down into the spot where we see the you lose. So we're using the same text message piece. We're just going to use it from one side or another. And I'm going to run the layout here and check and see how this code is reacting. So click and hold to charge the cannon. I'm aiming for the front spot of my goal. I'm going to click and hold. And I'm going to fire. I miss. Waiting, waiting, waiting.
Is there a way to add like a trail following the cannonball?
Not right now. I'm sure there is. I just don't know off the top of my head. For an enhancement, yeah, you could add a trail for the cannonball.
Like, where to shoot next time?
Yeah. But for right now, I'm still working on getting the regular mechanics working. So, I wasn't able to hit it there. Let's see if I can refresh this page and try it one more time. Click and hold to charge the cannon. Still in the front. Oh, got it, but didn't hit it. All right, so let's see. Where do we want to go next? We've added that. We added the you lose. Then, do we have touch on here?
Yes.
We do have touch. Okay, so we're going to go find the touch is in touch, and we're going to add a sub-event. So here's our touch is in touch. We've got fired here. The sub-event that we're going to add is going to be cannonball on created. So I'm going to right-click this number 2. We have one here. I don't know where we were going with it. It says system cannonball power is greater than panic. Oh, I know what this was supposed to be. It was supposed to be set cannonball power to cannonball power max. So I'm going to add action here. Did anybody else miss this one? Cannonball power. Do they have a blank sub-event in number 3?
Yeah.
All right. Remember when I was holding for a really long time, the cannonball shot like way off the screen instantly?
Yeah.
I think that's because I went past the max power variable. So if your cannonball power is greater than the cannonball power max, what we're going to do is we're going to system set value of cannonball power to cannonball power max. So that way we can't go beyond the max. And then I want to see a little feedback as to how charged the cannonball is. So I'm going to go back to the game layout. This is just me going off of some troubleshooting things here. On the game layout, I'm going to add another text. Over here, I'm going to say TXT cannon power. And I'm going to change the text. I'm going to leave it small because I don't want to see it a lot. And we're eventually going to get rid of this, or maybe you'll keep it. But it should say cannon power. And it's going to start off at 0. And what I'm going to do is in my event sheet, every time the cannon power ticks up, I'm going to update this cannon power text to show what my power is at, so I kind of know where the power actually is. Okay? So, do I have every tick? Because I would think I would need it to happen every tick. Or, you know what? I'm just going to add it here is in touch. So, it's only going to add up when we have it on here. Text cannon power max. It's going to be set text. And we're going to set it to the words cannon power with semicolon after it and a space inside the quotes, ampersand to join it with the cannon power variable. Oh, it's cannonball power. Cannonball power variable. So now if I run this, I'm going to have another text thing down here below. Cannon power is at 0. Click and hold to charge the cannon. And let's see if this is working. Whoop, so it's going up pretty high. Oh, I left the 0 on there, maybe? Oh, that's going up way too high. All right, so let's look and see what did we do wrong. So, is in touch. I think this is supposed to be. I think this shouldn't be a sub-event, but it should be a check over here. And it's going to say invert this. So cannonball power is not greater than cannonball power max. Then it's going to add it there. Let's try it again and see. What? If this is... Did I do that reverse? So this is greater than? And then let's not invert it. Let's see. We're going to not invert this, and we're going to run it and see. Yes, you may. So now it's charging up 420. Let's see if it stops at 1,000. Yep, 1,010 is as high as I can get the power to go through. All right, let's refresh and try this one more time and see where things are going. So cannonball power starts off at 0. Thank you. I had that wrong there. So now I'm charging. I get like a little feedback to see how much. 1,000 is full power. I'm going to cheat, and I'm always going to have the goal spawn at that first location because I want it to spawn there. So when the cannonball goes to a random spot, let's see. Cannon is overlapping goal. Home layout, home set, home screens, just that. Spawn location is our random thing, right? Where's our code that says pick a random instance of spawn location? I'm actually going to go... so this is our spawn location. I'm going to delete these other two for now because I want the goal always spawning in the front just because I want to see if this text message pops up. Oop, I've got an error. Yes, you may. Please sign out. Rerun this here. So now my piece should only spawn. I'll add in those other spawn locations afterwards. This is just for troubleshooting. I want to check and see. So I'm aiming for this one here. I'm going to charge it up to 1,000. 1,010 actually, because it still adds that last piece. There's short, so I got to be a little bit higher. Carlos, this is where your trail would work well. Too high. Alright, so we spawned it, and then it went back to the play, but our text didn't pop up. Let's figure out why. So on our game sheet here, we set the text, we set the X there, we set the opacity. This is on goal hitbox 0. But then we set is alive to there. On that, we set is alive to 0. So is alive is already 0. I think this wait needs to be a little bit longer for right now because I don't think it actually brought that one. Oh, and then when the cannon is overlapping the goal, I skipped the most important part. What do I need to do with that goal hitbox? Once it overlaps the goal, I need to set it equal to 1. So we didn't do that. So this has got to be system set value. And this is going to be the goal hitbox. We're going to set it to 1. So that needs to happen on that is overlapping with the goal. Yeah, I see where I missed that part. So this is in cannon is overlapping goal. System is alive becomes 0. I made the wait in this section right below it a couple seconds longer so it would show the is alive for a little bit there. Or not the is alive, but show the feedback before going back to that layer. And then I think the other thing is cannonball is overlapping our destroy cannonball. We're also going to have to add an action on here to set is goal box hit equal to 0. So I'm going to copy this line from right here, come over here on number 5, paste it in, and not 1, but we're going to change it to 0. So that if you hit that boundary on the outside, it's going to be equal to 0. And then we can actually compare the speed of the cannonball. So let's say you hit the wall and the cannonball comes to a rest and it doesn't hit the object. You can also wait to compare the cannonball's speed to be 0. And then if it is 0, then you can set that you didn't hit it to 0 as well. Because you know you haven't hit the goal and you're no longer moving the cannon anymore. So I'm going to try this one more time, and I just want to see if I can get that you win, and let's see if I can remember where I need to shoot from. I think it was here. Oh. Something else I got it didn't like there. Let's go run start of layout. I think I broke it. Yeah, there's the you lose. So you lose is showing up. So what did I break in the code? Because it's automatically skipping out on one thing. Cannon is overlapping cannonball destroyed. That's the only thing I had there. Where does the cannonball start? Oh, you know what? Ha! So the cannonball is affected by gravity, right? So this cannonball right here falls and it hits the is overlapping piece. So I think I just have to move this out of the way. You might have to do this too. Oh wow, this is bound really good. I'm going to move this below so that when this cannon falls, it won't hit the is overlapping piece. And then hopefully it won't speed through the end of that scenario again. Because we saw the you lose, so you lose worked. I should be able to start charging my cannon here. I'm going to charge it up to full power. And then now my scroll's not working. Doesn't like the things I'm adding. If I add this back over here and I go back onto the game sheet and I disable this block. Click and hold to charge, charging, full power, launches, hit it, you win. All right, so we got that part working. And now we're going to wait, and it comes back over here. What's up? I'm sorry? I think that's how it's supposed to be when that moment was happening in class. Right now, if you go to live, that's how it's supposed to be now. So I don't know what day you're watching. What day are you watching? You're watching today's? No. Well, what's the date on that? Does that have a title and a date? If it doesn't have a title and a date, and it just says Michael Wilkos' live stream, then that's today's. And it doesn't have the name updated? I'll have to look and see. I don't know which one you're watching. But no, that's not the way that it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be up here with the way we have it now in the live stream currently. Okay? So if there's something off on yours that you see in the live stream, fix it. Okay? So I'm going to take that as, for right now, we've got is win working. So the win works. I have to look more at the logic for the lose because we have to think about... the first cannonball has to get destroyed. Can't destroy outside of layout.
You can put it on that ledge just outside the layout.
Genius. All right, so I'm going to unlock the ground layer. Oh, not make it invisible. I'm going to unlock the ground layer. I get what you're saying. We're going to take this, stretch it over this way. Take this. So now when it falls, it won't be destroyed. But is that going to mess up our scroll too? Because technically it's supposed to scroll to the cannonball. Let's take a look and see. So click and hold to charge the cannon. Go give me my preview. It's always spawning up in the front. Oh man, I'm also doing much more work than I should for this. Cannon power is full. See, now that there's two of them on the screen, it's not scrolling correctly. That's the problem. So that one does need to get destroyed. I could count the number of blocks that have been destroyed. I can't destroy outside layout. So that didn't work. What we can try to add... I just had... Oh, that's the other thing that I want to do. While I'm troubleshooting, I'm going to make this easier on myself. And I'm just going to cheat this way so that I have an easier time getting to the goal. I should have done this a while ago. So now my goal is going to be really big over there. Oh, the goal kind of pushed the wall out of the way. Now as long as I kind of get it with enough arc, I can start to test the you win scenarios because I'm going to hit that part. So there's the you win working. So that's one suggestion I would have for that. I've got to work on the you lose working right now. I'm going to stop the live stream and check and see where people are, if they've got the you win scenario working, where it pops to that area on the screen, and see if they're able to add in the charge meter text that updates where the camera is. So this is where I'm going to stop the live stream and see will people